Today, we're talking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. His story is incredible. It's all about how one person's spiritual quest could actually spark a whole new world religion, Sikhism.
And that really gets you thinking, right? How does that even happen? How does one person's private spiritual journey end up becoming the foundation for millions of people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore. Let's get into it. Okay, so to really get a handle on his journey, let's just quickly look at the map of his life. It all kicks off with his birth in 1469. Then, a huge moment around age 30, this divine enlightenment. After that, he founds this incredible community, Kartarpur, and it all leads to a legacy that's still so powerful long after he passed in 1539. That's the road we're taking today.
All right, let's go all the way back to the beginning, to when he was just a kid, because even from his earliest days, there was something different about Nanak. He had this intense curiosity, this spirit of inquiry that really made him stand out. Imagine the world he was born into back in 1469. It was a place just full of division. You have this super rigid caste system fracturing society, and he's looking around at all these religious rituals that to him felt kind of hollow, empty of any real meaning. And this was the world he was about to challenge in some seriously radical ways.
And the stories from his childhood, wow, they really paint a picture of someone who was just extraordinary from the get-go. I mean, he wasn't the kind of kid who was just happy learning his ABCs. He was pushing his teachers, asking the big questions like, what's the point of all this knowledge? And then you have these amazing legends of miracles, like his cattle wandering through a field, but the crops are totally untouched, or a tree's shadow that just stays put to keep shading him while he slept. Just incredible stuff.
So, all this early curiosity, this questioning, it's all building up to something. It's leading to this one single life-altering moment, a divine awakening. And folks, this is the part of the story where everything changes. This is where his mission truly begins.
Okay, so fast forward a bit. Nanak is now 30 years old. He's got a family, 2 sons, a steady job as a storekeeper. Life is pretty normal. But then, one morning, he goes down to the local river for his daily bath, just like any other day. And something profound happens. He walks into the water and just disappears.
And he's not gone for an hour, he's gone for 3 whole days. Can you imagine? His entire village is out searching frantically, but nothing. At that point, everyone assumed the worst. They figured he must have drowned.
But then, on the 3rd day, he just reappears. And he's not the same person. He's transformed, almost radiant. He doesn't say a word for a while. And then, the very first words out of his mouth are words that would absolutely shake the foundations of his world. He says, "There is no Hindu, there is no Muslim."
Now, think about how radical that was. He wasn't saying Hindus and Muslims don't exist, not at all. He was making a much, much deeper point. He was saying that in God's eyes, these labels we create for ourselves, they don't matter. They're meaningless. That underneath it all, we are all one. And that single powerful revelation, well, that was the birth of Sikhism.
And this wasn't just some abstract idea. It became a super practical way to live your life, built on 3 simple core pillars. First, Naam Japna. Basically, keep God in your thoughts. Second, Kirat Karni. Earn an honest living. Work hard. And third, Chakna. Share what you have with others. See? This is a faith that was meant to be lived every single day, not just something you talked about.
So, when you have a message this powerful, this universal, well, it can't just stay in one little village, right? And that realization kicks off the next massive chapter of his life, taking this message of oneness to, well, the whole world.
And I'm not exaggerating, for over 2 decades, Guru Nanak went on these epic journeys. They're called the Udasis. And just try to wrap your head around the dedication here. We're talking about traveling thousands and thousands of miles, almost all of it on foot.
The sheer scope is just breathtaking. He went east all the way to Bengal, south to Sri Lanka. He traveled north up into the Himalayas and Tibet, and then west through Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, all the way to Mecca. And he wasn't just passing through. He was stopping and having these deep conversations with scholars, holy men, and just regular folks from every faith imaginable.
And the best part? He wasn't just preaching unity, he was living it. I mean, look at who he traveled with. His closest companions were Bhai Mardana, a Muslim musician, and Bhai Bala, a Hindu follower. His own little group was a walking, talking, living example of his message.
Okay, so after all those years on the road,
decades of travel, Guru Nanak knew he needed to create a place where these ideas could actually take root, a place where people could live them out. And that brings us to his legacy of service and the amazing community of Kartarpur.
So, around 1521, he settles down and founds this town called Kartarpur. It means City of the Creator. And you have to understand, this wasn't just a place to set up a house. Think of it more like a living laboratory, where his entire philosophy could be put into practice every single day.
And right at the heart of this laboratory was the institution of Langar, the free community kitchen. And honestly, it's hard to overstate how revolutionary this was. In a society totally split by caste, where some people literally wouldn't even touch others they considered lower, Langar was a radical act. It said, nope, everyone, rich, poor, king, commoner, doesn't matter, sits on the floor together and eats the same food as equals. Just amazing.
Even the story of his passing back in 1539 really speaks to how much he meant to everyone. His Hindu followers wanted to cremate him, and his Muslim followers wanted to bury him. And the legend goes that when they finally went to lift the shroud covering his body, all they found was a bed of flowers. So they divided the flowers between them. It's such a beautiful, powerful symbol, right? That his message truly belonged to all of humanity.
So, let's just quickly recap. From the moment he was born in 1469, Guru Nanak's entire life was a testament to his core message. There's one God, and we are all one human family. And he didn't just talk about it, right? He built it into the very foundation of Sikhism and into the radical equality of the Langar. And, crucially, to make sure his work would live on, he passed the torch to his successor, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, before his passing.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Guru Nanak lived in a world that was incredibly divided, yet his entire life was about a message of unity. So the question I want to leave you with is this. In our world today, which can feel so full of walls, what can we learn from a message that was all about building bridges?